In the waning days of September 2021, a clandestine operation in Stockholm shattered the illusion of Sweden's impregnable security. Two brothers, Peyman and Payam Kia, naturalized Swedish citizens born in Iran, were unmasked as operatives for Russia's ruthless military intelligence service, the GRU. For a decade, from 2011 to 2021, they had woven a web of deceit, funneling Sweden's most guarded secrets to Moscow. Their betrayal, exposed in what became the nation's most infamous espionage scandal in modern history, rocked Scandinavia's intelligence community and ignited fears of Russian infiltration at a time of escalating global tensions. Peyman, 42, the mastermind with unparalleled access to Sweden's covert operations, was sentenced to life imprisonment. His younger brother, Payam, 35, the shadowy courier to their Russian handlers, received 9 years and 10 months. This is the saga of their treachery, a chilling tale of ambition, duplicity, and the perilous dance of espionage in a world on edge. Thank you for diving into this riveting story with me. A heartfelt thank you to my loyal viewers, subscribers, and incredible supporters who keep these tales of intrigue alive. Your passion fuels my drive to uncover the shadows of history. If this narrative grips you, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to help this channel thrive. The Kia brothers' story begins far from Sweden's frost-kissed landscapes. Born in Iran in the late 1970s and early 1980s, Peyman and Payam arrived in Sweden with their family in the early 1990s, fleeing the turmoil of their homeland for the promise of safety and opportunity. Granted Swedish citizenship in 1994, they settled into the vibrant, multicultural tapestry of their new home, blending seamlessly into suburban life. Their parents, hardworking immigrants, instilled a drive for success, and the brothers appeared poised to embody the Swedish dream. Peyman, the elder, was charismatic and driven, his sharp intellect propelling him toward prestigious roles. By 2014, he had secured a position at Säpo, Sweden's domestic security service, and later joined the Armed Forces Intelligence Agency, MUST, even working in the ultra-secretive Office for Special Acquisition, KSI, a unit tasked with managing Swedish spies abroad. His clearance granted him access to the nation's most sensitive intelligence, a trust few could claim. Payam, quieter and less conspicuous, carved a different path. Never employed by Säpo but allegedly serving as the critical link to the GRU, handling communications and payments with a calculated finesse that belied his unassuming demeanor. To their neighbors in Stockholm's tidy suburbs, the Kias were unremarkable. Peyman, with his polished suits and professional air, was the picture of a dedicated public servant. Payam, often seen tinkering with electronics or slipping out for errands, kept a low profile, perhaps deliberately fading into the background. They attended community events, spoke fluent Swedish alongside Persian, and raised no red flags. Yet, beneath this carefully curated facade, a dangerous conspiracy simmered. From September 28, 2011 to September 20, 2021, the brothers allegedly operated as a covert team, siphoning classified data from Sweden's intelligence and defense systems. Peyman acquired roughly 90 sensitive documents, while Payam handled about 65. Material so critical that their exposure could paralyze Sweden's security apparatus. Prosecutors alleged the brothers accessed data from multiple Säpo and MUST authorities, including, according to Swedish media, a rumored list of every Säpo employee, a treasure trove for the GRU, which excels at exploiting human vulnerabilities. The information, if true, could have endangered agents, compromised operations, and handed Russia a playbook to destabilize Sweden's defenses. what drove the Kias to betray the nation that had embraced them. Financial gain was undeniable. Bank records revealed Peyman received at least $400,000, with transactions in 2016 and 2017 involving cash equivalent to 550,000 Swedish kroner, much of it in US dollars, likely GRU payments. Payam's cryptic notes, some referencing Raski, a coded nod to Russia, detailed cash and gold transactions, suggesting a steady flow of illicit wealth. Yet, money alone doesn't fully explain their decade-long deception. Whispers of deeper motives, perhaps a sense of alienation, ideological drift, or resentment toward a system they felt undervalued them, hovered over the case, though the brothers remained tight-lipped. Peyman's high-level roles at Säpo and Must suggest he craved recognition, perhaps frustrated by bureaucratic ceilings. Payam, loyal to his brother, may have been drawn into the scheme by familial bonds or the allure of outwitting Sweden's guardians. Their operation was sophisticated. USB sticks, encrypted laptops, and burner phones facilitated their treason, while Payam's coded messages ensured their Russian contacts remained at arm's length. The backdrop to their betrayal was a Sweden navigating a precarious geopolitical storm. Russia's 2014 annexation of Crimea and its war in Ukraine had sharpened fears of Moscow's ambitions in Northern Europe. As Sweden edged toward NATO membership, formally applying in 2022, it became a prime target for Russian espionage. The GRU, with its global network of operatives, saw the Kias as a golden opportunity. Peyman's access to KSI's covert operations and Säpo's internal workings made him a prize asset, while Payam's role as intermediary kept their tracks covered. The brothers' actions, prosecutors argued, bolstered Russia, Sweden's greatest security threat, at a time when every leaked secret could shift the balance in a rekindled Cold War. The potential disclosure of Säpo's employee list alone, as intelligence expert Joachim von Braun noted, was catastrophic, exposing agents to recruitment, blackmail, or worse. The unraveling of the Kias' scheme began quietly in 2017, when Säpo detected anomalies suggesting a mole within its ranks. Peyman, who had left Säpo in 2015 for a managerial role at the Swedish Food Agency, was already under scrutiny. His sudden departure from intelligence work, perhaps a bid to distance himself, only heightened suspicions. A joint task force involving Säpo, Must, and the Swedish National Authority for Signals Intelligence, FRA, launched a meticulous investigation, combing through financial records, communications, and digital footprints. By 2021, the net tightened. In September, Peyman was arrested in a discreet operation, his calm demeanor giving way to shock as handcuffs clicked. Payam, sensing danger, allegedly smashed a hard drive and discarded it in a trash can. A desperate act investigators later recovered. He was apprehended in November, his arrest marking the culmination of a nearly 5-year probe. Seized evidence, mobile phones, storage devices, and Payam's incriminating notes formed a damning mosaic of their guilt. The trial, held in late 2022 at Stockholm District Court, was a fortress of secrecy. Conducted largely behind closed doors, it barred most press and required attendees to pass rigorous security checks, reflecting the case's gravity. Peyman and Payam, represented by lawyers Anton Strand and Björn Sandin, stood defiant, denying all charges. Their defense argued the prosecution's evidence was circumstantial, lacking definitive proof of the information's impact. Yet, the court, led by Chief Judge Måns Weigand, saw through the smokescreen. On January 19, 2023, Weigand delivered a blistering verdict. Peyman, the driving force, with full understanding of the damaging effects, was sentenced to life, a term meaning at least 20 to 25 years in Sweden's austere prisons. Payam, whose role in planning and liaising with the GRU was deemed less central, received 9 years and 10 months. The court acknowledged evidentiary gaps, but concluded the brothers had, jointly and in consultation, without authorization and for the benefit of Russia and the GRU, acquired, forwarded, and disclosed information that imperiled Sweden's security. The verdict sent shockwaves through Sweden. Von Braun called it the nation's worst espionage case, rivaling the Cold War betrayal of Stig Bergling, who sold secrets to the Soviets. The Kia's access to Säpo's personnel list was a national security nightmare, potentially compromising agents and operations for years. Sweden's government, already wary of Russia's regional aggression, faced intense scrutiny over how such a breach persisted undetected for a decade. Säpo chief Charlotte von Essen admitted espionage was an ever-present risk, but the Kia's audacity stunned even veterans. Peyman appealed, and in May 2023, Sweden's Supreme Court upheld his life sentence, affirming the case's severity. Payam, fearing a harsher penalty, withdrew his appeal, accepting his fate. The human cost was profound. The Kia family, once a beacon of immigrant success, was shattered. Their parents, who had fled Iran for a better life, grappled with the public disgrace of their son's actions. Unlike Bonnie Hansen, who stood by her traitor husband, there's no public record of the Kias' family rallying behind them, leaving their personal lives a silent tragedy. Peyman, once a trusted insider, and Payam, the unassuming accomplice, became pariahs, their Iranian heritage unfairly magnified in a nation wrestling with immigration debates. Friends and colleagues who knew them as loyal Swedes were left reeling, questioning how such betrayal went unnoticed. What compelled the Kias to turn traitor? Money was a potent lure. $400,000 and more sustained their operation, funding a lifestyle beyond their means. Yet, the court hinted at psychological undercurrents. Payman, with his elite roles, may have felt stifled, his ambitions clashing with the slow grind of bureaucracy. His time at KSY handling Sweden's spies abroad placed him at espionage's cutting edge, perhaps feeding a hunger for power or validation. Payam, less visible but equally complicit, might have been swayed by loyalty to his brother, the thrill of outsmarting Säpo, or a shared sense of grievance. Their ability to compartmentalize, living as model citizens while serving as GRU assets, mirrors the duality of history's great spies, like Robert Hansen. Yet their hubris was their undoing, underestimating Sweden's resolve to protect its secrets. The Kia's betrayal exposed systemic vulnerabilities. Säpo's failure to detect a mole for years sparked calls for reform, from stricter vetting to enhanced monitoring of insiders. Sweden, now a NATO member, has bolstered its counterintelligence, but the case remains a cautionary tale. Russia's GRU continues to probe Western defenses, and the Kia's success suggests other moles may lurk undetected. The brothers, now confined in Sweden's high-security prisons, face a grim future. Peyman, at 42, may spend decades behind bars, while Payam, younger but no less culpable, will emerge in his mid-40s, their names forever tied to treachery. As Sweden fortifies its defenses and the world watches Russia's next moves, the Kia case endures as a stark reminder. Espionage thrives in the quiet corners of trust. The brothers' story, a blend of ambition, greed, and betrayal, echoes through the annals of intelligence history, warning that the next traitor may already be among us, waiting for their moment to strike.